Nothing says you care like crypto.
This is how society collapses. So the woman who accused the Duke lacrosse players of grape almost 20 years ago, right around there, has now come forward and said that she made the entire thing up. Now, of course, she is looking for attention once again, but I do believe her because she gives a firm reasoning for why she did it. And this is the same reason that a lot of women do it as well, for attention and resources. Today's video comes from Asmon Gold. His channel will be linked in the video so you can go check him out and support him. Watch to the end of the video to fully understand the implications of this situation, of her coming forward and admitting that she lied on these young men, because this was one of the first events before M2 that began kicking off that entire brigade of men are bad, men are pathetic villains while women are powerful victims thing that then ultimately led to Me Too. Don't forget to check us out on Rumble because you never really know what's going to happen on this platform. And now let's just go ahead and jump right into the video.
Woman who accused Duke lacrosse players of rape admits she lied. Wait, what?
Stunning admission from a woman who accused Duke University lacrosse players of nearly 20 years ago. The story was a national firestorm. She now says she lied about the encounter. First made the claims back in 2006, saying 3 members of the school's lacrosse team her after she had been hired to dance at a house party the team was throwing. But now, going on the record on a podcast nearly 20 years later, Crystal Mangum says she was lying the whole time.
I testified falsely against them and made up a story that wasn't true because I wanted validation from people and not from God. And that was wrong when God already loved me for who I was.
I love how this is like every stereotype and every caricature. This is every single one of them.
I hope that they can forgive me, and I want them to know that I love them and know that God loves them.
Not enough. He doesn't love them enough.
God is loving them.
Should have loved them more.
To hear this admission all these years later, it's just extraordinary.
And 3 young lives were destroyed at that time. You know, it was 2006.
There's another big component to that you got to keep in mind is that when somebody gets accused of something sexual like this, if there's even a degree of uncertainty about it, people will usually assume that it happened. And before you know it, that's what happened. So if you accuse somebody of something like this, there's a very good chance that you're ruining their life.
And Crystal Magnum made the accusation that she was. There were charges that had terms of imprisonment for the rest of their lives. That's where it started, and everyone took Crystal Magnum's side. She came out with details, very specific, graphic details. And the young men said, we didn't do this, but Duke University did not stand by them either. They were just really silent, but everyone was focused that she was telling the truth. They weren't. Then it went to a national level, and their names became household names.
Is there anything that could come? It doesn't sound like Crystal has a whole lot of assets on her.
Well, she's in prison. She's in prison right now. And so that's...
What? What? Just the casual... No, she can't. Yeah, they can't put her in jail. She's already in jail. Oh, for what? Oh yeah, that's right. Oh my God. Who is this person? Yeah, she's already in jail.
I want you guys to think about how many lives were destroyed, because it wasn't just the 3 guys. It was the entire Duke lacrosse team. They all got punished. I forget if the team got shut down. Guys, don't forget the whole Rolling Stones article that came out many years ago at this point, where this woman named Jackie made accusations that something happened at a frat party and the guys were all punished for it. However, then an investigation was done, and the journalist was found to have basically done no research whatsoever. They found out the police did an investigation, and the girl in the article, evidently she had been involved in a swatting incident. She was not a very good person. She was a very bad person. And this is basically how society has been going for the last couple of decades, where a woman just makes any accusation that she wants to destroy a man's name or the names of men. We immediately believe them, because do you remember Anita Sarkeesian and her garbage? Believe all women, and believe all women, all of them. That's right. Don't Don't doubt anything they say. That's right. And what have women been doing for decades? They've been using the legal system to be compensated at work for things that did not happen. If you look at it wasn't Ubisoft, Activision Blizzard. This is one of the craziest things. So there were accusations made that, women at Activision Blizzard were not treated fairly and they had gone through some types of, unwanted behavior. So they ended up paying out tens of millions of dollars. I forget it was tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars. And the women who made the accusations, they got a cut. So they got like tens of millions of dollars. And the state of California, where the accusations were made, they also received something like $75 million. But here's the thing. The state did the investigation, released their report, and found that there was no evidence suggesting that any of the claims were correct, that any of the claims could be validated, and there was any evidence suggesting that the claims that all of these women made, former employees of Activision Blizzard, were true in any way whatsoever. This is the actual findings in the report, and yet Activision Blizzard ended up paying a massive amount of money to California and to the women, even though the claims could not be substantiated, and the state ultimately found that these claims were not true. And then what do women say? Just because they can't prove it doesn't mean it did not happen. Even when you have Crystal coming forward and saying that she lied, women don't care because they know she was lying. Guys, I've got something huge for you today. If you're not already part of my 3 exclusive communities, you're seriously missing out. Let me break it down for you real quick. Angry's Crypto Academy, your go-to guide for achieving financial freedom through crypto, insider strategies, tools, and tips you can't afford to ignore. If you're not getting ahead in crypto now, you're falling behind. Angry Guys Arcade, for my gamers, tech heads, and hustlers. This is where fun meets profit. Exclusive gaming content, tips, and ways to turn your hobbies into income. Trust me, you'll wish you joined when you see what's coming next. Angry Guys Clubhouse, focused on smart strategies for finance, passive income, and expat living. If you've ever dreamed of living life on your terms, this is where you'll learn how to make it happen. Don't wait. They're all individually linked in the description below. Check them out right now before you get left behind. Time to level up, guys. All the women who heard this woman lie, the women who saw the lie, they know she was lying. We all knew she was lying. And it's on to the next one. Look at what happened to Johnny Depp. The Amber Heard, she threw something at him, and it like basically did something very serious to his finger. So bad that I think he needed surgery. And she even is heard on tape saying that no one's going to believe you're the victim, Johnny. You're a man. This is the society that we live in, and then we all look the other way. And I've told you, of course, it's The Sims. The Sims play a large role in this because that's how they like it. If you notice, guys, the rates of men having relationships with their students has gone significantly down, even at the university level in the last couple of decades, because men have learned their lessons. All right. But when it comes to women, every other day, you hear that some woman had a relationship with her student and she gets a slap on the wrist. She doesn't even have to go on the registry. She suffered enough. And then they go and do an interview with Dr. Phil and say, I'm not saying what I did was right, but he was the one. He's the one who courted me. I'm the victim here. And it's like, this is the mindset of how women operate, and society continues to allow it. It's so sad. It is so sad. And you know what? It's probably her conscience. 100% her conscience, and saying things like she loves them. You've got to be kidding me, guys. And then when this type of thing happens, you're expected to forgive. All of you simps, there's so many of you simps in my comments who will start saying that, well, if you do not forgive, Jesus cannot forgive you. Guys, I'm telling you, these men, these individuals, put them out of your life. All right? You're going to hell. That's fine, bro. We'll see who gets there first, me or you. Do not speak to me anymore. Guys, stay the heck away from these types of people. Stay away from these types of people that will immediately start to validate the villains and tell you that you're going to hell if you do not forgive those who have wronged you, because you cannot enter into heaven. Guys, the people who are advocating for that are the nastiest people. They're the ones who've hurt others around them. They've hurt tons of other people. They've done the most evil things in this world. They're some of the most evil people, and then they'll start demanding that you forgive everyone. Someone who destroyed my life, someone who deleted someone. Yes, absolutely, you have to. This is how psychotic these people are. This is why I said stay out of the church. There's nothing there for you. It's just a bunch of hustlers and deep and demonic, devilish individuals there. All right. I told you, pastor is just another name for pimp, and church lady is just another name for street lady, if you really want me to call it like that. All right, 304. That's really what it is. And a lot of times the pastor and the 304 are in it together, like they're being physically intimate, and they're working together to extract wealth and resources from you. It's a sick society. What you should be doing is focusing on yourself and getting your money up, investing in things like crypto, buying up, diversifying and land, real estate, put aside a little money for gold, a little money for silver, buy crypto. Watch your money grow. Okay. Stay away from dating and relationships. There's nothing there for men today. There's absolutely nothing there for any of us. Guys, hard times are coming. Really, really hard times are coming. And you better be ready. Because if you've been paying attention, the financial system is on shaky ground. Banks are shutting down, the economy is crashing, and people are waking up to the terrifying reality that their money isn't as safe as they thought. But here's the thing, crypto is the answer, and a new coin has just exploded onto the scene with the same life-changing potential as Bitcoin and Dogecoin. This coin has surged into the top 20, outperforming major players and making early investors rich overnight. It's being compared to Bitcoin's early days and Dogecoin's explosive rise, both of which created millionaires out of ordinary people. If you missed out on Bitcoin or Dogecoin, this could be your last chance to secure the financial freedom they brought to so many others. I've created an exclusive investment guide inside Angry's Crypto Academy that reveals exactly what this coin is, why it's rising so fast, and how you can take advantage before it's too late. The Academy isn't just about this coin, it's your gateway to mastering crypto. You'll learn how to buy, sell, and even day trade cryptocurrency, plus how to create a decentralized bank account to protect your money from failing banks. And as a member, you'll stay ahead of the game with alerts on new crypto trends before the rest of the market catches on. But here's the truth. Opportunities like this don't wait. Every day you delay, you're risking missing out on one of the biggest financial opportunities of your life. Click the link in the description to join Angry's Crypto Academy now and unlock the full guide. Don't let hesitation cost you everything. The future of wealth is here. Will you grab it or watch from the sidelines?
The 2006 Duke lacrosse case, you know that phrase, highlighted how unsupported accusations and blind acceptance by a politically motivated prosecutor and media pressure could create a nationwide firestorm. The three young men accused of the rape had their lives turned upside down. They were arrested, indicted, and punished in the court of public opinion. The case was actually later dismissed. And now, almost 20 years later, their accuser says she lied about the whole thing. Steve Harrigan is live in Atlanta with more details. Steve.
That's right. This admission certainly is a long time coming. It goes all the way back to 2006, 18 years ago, at a house in Durham, North Carolina, a party by the Duke lacrosse team, and a stripper, Crystal Mangum, said she was by three Duke lacrosse players. Now, yesterday, for the first time ever, she says that never happened. She made up the story.
I testified falsely against them by saying that they raped me when they didn't, and that was wrong. And I betrayed the trust of a lot of other people who believed in me.
Mangum was speaking from prison where she's serving a 14-year sentence for murder. The case itself, 18 years ago, got national attention. The 3 white students from an elite university were prejudged as guilty by the national media, by their own university, and by the prosecution. The DA involved eventually got disbarred for withholding crucial DNA evidence. And the president of Duke, Richard Broadhead, suspended the 3 students and ended the lacrosse season. Eventually, after the dismissal, the 3 students settled a lawsuit with Duke and the president for an undisclosed amount. Back to you.
All righty. Thank you very much for that. This was something that was shocking at the time, obviously. It was this accusation, Harris, of this rape. And now, part of her explanation was that she did it because she wanted to feel validated.
This is what men have been going through for a very long time right now. How many of us have been punished in school, punished in the workforce, punished through all walks of our lives for things that we did not do, or things that were basically jazzed up for personal gain? You see, women have made victimization into a profitable thing. It gives them attention, resources, influence, and it doesn't matter if it's true or not, because they're not punished harshly for when they do these things. In most cases, they are allowed to keep the spoils of the spoils of their ill-gotten spoils. Look at guys like Johnny Depp. His life is destroyed. He lost everything. Even though his reputation was restored in the court of public opinion, he didn't get his job back. Disney has begun using his image again in promotions for Pirates of the Caribbean and so forth, but they're not hiring him. They're not bringing him back to the company. They're not even giving him an apology. Not even an apology. Because once a man's life and reputation are destroyed, that's basically a situation where, okay, well, he's been punished, he's been destroyed, we don't care about him anymore. He's no longer a person. Look at the creator of Rick and Morty. The series has indefinitely gone downhill since he left. And, this is a guy who created Rick and Morty. He also created another series similar to Rick and Morty on Hulu. He had a woman come forward and claim that he had basically put hands, he basically had done something, put hands when he did not. And it turns out that, she was lying. He had never, ever done anything inappropriately, but his reputation was destroyed. His life was destroyed. He's been completely exonerated. The accuser, it's been proven that she was lying. He lost everything. And what did we end up getting with Rick and Morty? It's like basically a feminist type of drivel right now, where it's gross. Rick and Morty has become absolutely gross. Like, I just stopped watching. It was something that, it was something for the boys. It was something that the boys could watch and could enjoy and really get into. And then they were like, oh, there's not enough female influences in here. We need more women in the writer's room. And it's improved so much since we had it. It's basically the woke mind virus. But it was just something for the boys. It was some real cool sci-fi episodes. We could just go and watch it. Everything has been taken away from us as men. One of the few things that we still have left as men is cryptocurrency. And I know you're like, crypto again, angry? Crypto again. Guys, you have to understand the technology behind crypto is more than just facilitating the selling of coins. The creator of Ethereum, he said once, cryptocurrency is probably the most boring part of blockchain. It is, believe it or not. The technology is so amazing that you can use it to store information virtually. You can use it to keep track of every transaction for every operation. You can use it to create a trustless economy around us and connect basically virtually every device around us through the Internet of Things. It's so, guys, we have not even begun to scratch the surface of what blockchain technology can do yet. Okay? And it's being built right now. It's all being built right now. And all the people who are saying that it's a scam, they don't understand the technology. When I see people in the comments who are saying things like it's still too early to jump in, it's still too risky to get involved in cryptocurrency. So right now, one Bitcoin is about $100,000. Do you know when these people will finally jump in? When it's maybe 1 million, maybe when it's 10 million. When a Dogecoin that you can get for 46 cents right now is going for $200, that's when they will finally say now is the right time to jump in. Do you see how stupid these people are? And then you're gonna think back to Uncle Angry, who said, "Bro, if a $10 investment can turn you into a millionaire. $10 investment can turn you into a millionaire, little bro. Come over to the academy. It costs roughly the cost of a cup of coffee to join the academy, to get into the academy. And I'm going to work with you and guide you in $10 investment. You're going to think about it like, if I only had listened to Uncle Angry, if I had only listened to Angry Sama, if I had not listened to the naysayers who are now brokies, I would be wealthy right now. I would be rich right now. I would be secure. And then you're going to start putting down yourself and all this other stuff. And you know what you do? You deserve it because you listen to idiots and they misled you, and you deserve your hardship and your pain and suffering.
And this goes back to the idea of victimhood, the romanticization of victimhood, that you mean something if you have been attacked or have had a hate crime committed against you. And that's why she did it. She was, in prison for the 2013 of her boyfriend, whom she a sentence of 13, I think, to 18 years for that. Is this what do you think makes her come back 20 years to admit what we all felt we knew, which that it was not true?
Well, why this moment? Like, I understand she's in prison for murder, and I understand that a lot of prisoners who are behind bars find faith and so on and so forth. But she's known all along that she ruined the lives of 3 human beings, young men at the beginnings of their dreams. How do you live with that every day if, in fact, you have a conscience that guides you to apologize to the world, and you know it's going to end up beyond that podcast all over the place? I mean, I still think she's self-serving.
You see, guys, I've said this plenty of times. We are dealing with people who are functionally insane at best. What has happened with modern women is that they have disconnected long ago from their higher conscious self. It is from our higher conscious self that we get our conscience. People who are spiritually weak, they can claim that they are in tune with God because they'll bring up God and they'll say that God is in it with them and God wants them to do this. It's absolute BS. You have Only Fools models who are saying that God wants them to be an Only Fools model. That's not God. That's blasphemy right there. But they won't stop doing it. So these are people who are spiritually weak. These are people who have disconnected from their higher conscious selves. These are people who are not in line with God. They are not looking within. They are looking towards the world, and they are only looking for gain, money, attention. Do not forget that attention is a currency for women. Influence. Again, it all goes back to stimulating their emotions. The only thing that a woman is loyal to in this world are her emotions. And wherever the wind blows, their emotions will go. This is why I've come to understand it's better to just walk away and to really have very few friends or no friends and just have a good relationship with Jesus Christ. And there are people who attack me in the comments for saying these things, for saying that it's better just to be alone. Oh, the reason why you're alone is because no one wants to be your friend. No, I've run away from most of my friends. I just don't want to be bothered with these people. I'd rather be alone. You're a selfish person. No, what you're basically trying to do is you're trying to find people to live off, okay? When you find a person who is happy by themselves, that is thriving and that is succeeding, then you cannot live with that because that person has something that you don't. They have peace and you have no peace. You're looking for others to validate you and bring you happiness, but that can never happen. You should always look for happiness and validation from within and from Jesus Christ. If God loves you and God is proud of you, that's the only validation you need, but a lot of people don't want to hear it because they can't accept it. And I just want to remind you guys that we have created a brand new space for you guys. I created a brand new space called Angry Guys Arcade, and it's where gamers and freedom seekers come to level up. Free members get gaming news, sneak peeks, and polls, paid Paid and premium members get exclusive post gaming deals, early access, and even direct tips from me, Angry Guy. Don't wait. Opportunities like this don't stick around forever. Click the link in the description and join Angry Guy's Arcade before you're left behind.
I don't know what else to think about her. She hasn't convinced anybody. She could have told anyone, look, I made it up. I'm not strong enough to say it, but I don't want those young men to go to prison. She's 48 years old. That could have dawned on her a decade ago. That could have dawned on her 2 decades ago. But it didn't, so I'm left with not really believing her. I just know that she lies. She's telling me she lies. How do I know she's honest now?
You can't reason with unreasonable, though. You have to remember, she actually tried to kill her children before she even her boyfriend. I mean, she lit the house on fire with her 3 children in it. So you can't reason with unreasonable. You can't try to get in the mind of someone who's not entirely there, whether it's mental health or not. But the fact that she's coming forth now, that's great. But she has caused so much harm to so many people.
You know, Ian, she wrote a self-published book where she refused to say that it was not true, that she wouldn't take back anything she said. And at the same time, we have a generation of these young men living their lives, people presuming that it never did happen. But this seems to be a message, and we're living it now when it comes to the issue of victimhood, what we reward in society, what people expect from each other. I mean, this is something, even though it's late, that people could talk about more about the nature of what has happened in our civil society.
Yeah, so blast from the past, Stephen Miller, incoming deputy chief of staff, when he was a student at Duke, he was out there advocating, saying, look, you need to look at the facts here. So he was ahead of the curve on that. What I think here is we need to change it from there's value in being a victim to there are consequences for trying to do this. When you murder someone, you take a life. When you falsely accuse someone of or you take away their reputation. Their reputation. There need to be criminal consequences going forward for this kind of behavior, because you are destroying lives when you falsely accuse somebody of.
People are thinking about the issue of even perjury, but though that statute of limitation is gone at this point. And as a lawyer, it's interesting because Nai Fong was disbarred. The decisions made in this entire process were obscene.
She cost the lives and the careers of so many people in this, and I'm so glad that you brought up the fact that she should be held criminally liable. I don't think it's too late. There's no statute of limitations on that, considering the fact that she's just now coming out admitting that she lied. She destroyed not only the lives of these 3 men who had these bright futures. They were Duke University. Do you know how hard it is to get into that school? How hard they worked, how hard their parents worked in order to afford to pay and send them to that school.
You don't really recover.
You will never recover. Their lives are forever destroyed. I mean, their legacy finally is going to be cleared, but it's a little too late. And she should be held criminally liable.
And, you know, for the Democrats and the left in general, perhaps it's time to have people feel validated by supporting them to make them successful.
One other thing, remember, this is 2006, which is well before the Me Too movement. And this is such a step backwards for all the real victims that are out there. And somebody should make an issue of it.
All righty.
Nothing will get done. Nothing will ever change. It's just, they're just talking cluck, 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 cluck. They're just talking nonsense. It's basically just conservative view where they talk about all the garbage that's happening and then nothing ever changes. That's it. That's 100% it. All of this conversation means nothing. Those men, their reputations will forever be destroyed. They will continue decades from now to still be viewed as having this having happened. More people will continue to believe that this happened than that it didn't happen, because even though we have her downright confession, trust me, there are going to be, empowered women, feminists, who are going to say that she was coerced. She was coerced. They still believe that something happened at that party, or, she's not a perfect, she may not be a perfect victim, like Amber Heard was not a perfect victim, but she was still a victim. She, these are women who stood up to power and they were punished for it. Do you see how psychotic this is? Basically, it's about removing any possible consequences when it comes to women. And guys, I keep telling you, women are not actually the ones responsible for this. They are complicit in it. They are women who operate as agents of the state, and they facilitate this. But you have to understand, they are not the origins of this. It's the state, and it's the Sims. Okay? Nothing can happen in society unless men allow it to happen. That's why, like I said, guys, they've been trying to shut me down. They've been trying to silence me. When I was there talking about women and saying that, hey, women are doing this in society, my views were 100,000, 3 million views per month. But as soon as I started talking about the real villains, okay, Vanguard, State Street, they're the villains behind all of this, pushing DEI. They're the ones that are pushing for a society where women are given special treatment and men are given special punishments. They're the ones pushing for all the diversity, equity, and inclusion because they want to get rid of men in society. They want to silence men in society. They want to demoralize men in society so they can control society, where it's basically a place where you just have people who are just capable enough of running and keeping the lights on, but not strong enough to stand up to tyranny. Because the only ones who can stand up to tyranny in society are men, not women. And then when society begins to fall apart and groups of people begin to collapse in society, men are also blamed for that and shamed. Think about this very carefully. To be a man, you have to live up to the ideals of others. To be a woman, you simply have to identify. It's no wonder that 90% of men have now opted out of dating, have opted out of all relationships. MGTOW, the men going their own way, let's make it clear, they won. They absolutely won because most men today are going their own way. They're not simply walking away. Okay, men walking away is basically men with alternatives. Those are men walking away from the things that don't work for them and walking towards the things that do. That do. Basically, they're men with options. Not all MGTOWs are MWA. Not all MWAs are MGTOWs, but MGTOWs are also MWAs. They are men who've walked away. But they've chosen the alternative that they've chosen is to completely walk away from dating, relationships, and in most cases, society in and of itself. They work just enough to survive and thrive and no more, and they want to have nothing to do with relationships and society. Okay? They are separating themselves socially, financially, and economically from women in the state. And this is what's happening right now, where more and more men, they're walking away and they're like, yeah, I could walk overseas and become a passport king, or I could just walk inside my house, slam the door shut, and go chill inside of there. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go inside and never come back out. Only if I need to go and make some money or go here and there. And those are going to be quick stops. The mindset of a lot of men right now is to buy a piece of land, put a ranch on that piece of land or even a shed and stay there. Hook up some solar panels, And guys, I'm telling you, the average man doesn't need a lot to survive. For me, I want to have I want to have a couple acres of land. I want to have a nice ranch on there. Basically kind of what my friend Mayumi has and her husband. They have a lot of land. They have animals on their land. They have a nice setup. That's basically what I'm working towards. But a lot of men don't even want that. They basically just want a place to sleep, a place to go potty, food to eat, and they're more than happy sleeping on the floor and will never stop sleeping on the floor, and a little bit of entertainment, and they're good. There's so many of you guys that, when I say PlayStation 3, I say a lot of guys are happy with a PlayStation 3 or an Xbox 360. You pop up into the comments and are like, Angry, I'm happy with an Atari, okay? I'm happy with an Atari. And then, of course, there are the men who are happy with none of those things at all. I know guys who, this is one of the horrible things that I deal with are the woodsmen. They listen to my videos from the woods. These guys freak me the hell out. And they're like, it's a confusion to me. How the hell are you even getting signal out there? Yeah, they're in the woods. I will not. And woodsmen are nice. I like what one of them said. No, Angry, you're right. Stay in your lane. That's right. I'm staying in my lane. Let women go out there and hang out with Yogi and Boo Boo. I have no business out there in those woods. I have no business. Would I like to go back to nature? Of course. But I'm not going to go into the woods. Okay. I saw the Blair Witch back in 1999. That was more of a documentary than it was a non-fictional film. There's some sick stuff out there. Don't go into the woods. Guys, just like I say, stay out of the street, stay off the streets and out of the church. If you don't know the woods, you have no business in the woods. All right? I'm going to tell y'all something right now. I don't want to run into a bear, nor do I want to run into a man in the woods. If I had to run into one, I would probably choose, it depends. It really, really depends. Because if I have my peace with me, then I'm good. Like, me and that bear could flex. All right. If he wants to if he wants to jump, he can jump, and we're gonna jump. We're gonna jump. If I have my peace on me, let's play games, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. So I might take that bear, because you really never know what you're going to run into when you're dealing with a man. Of course, most of the time, most guys aren't going to mess with you, but you got to be careful, because you don't know what kind of woodsman you're going to run into. And there's some people out there that they've been in the woods for a long time, and there's a reason why they're in the woods. Like, they escaped from state penitentiary back in the 70s, and somehow, I don't know how the math even aligns, but they're only in their 50s at this point. I know you're like, what, angry? They're not that old. And you're like, what the living hell? Though, they were only 14 years old. So they're out there, and they've been out in those woods since like 1970 something. And it's like, basically, that's their home. That's their turf. You don't want to run into these people, and you don't even want to know what they were convicted of. Guys, this is how society collapses. And it's only going to get worse from here. And nothing's going to change for men. Nothing's going to improve for us. Because you have to remember that society does not like us. Society hates us. But let me know your thoughts. We'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers. Let me ask you something. When the banks collapse, and trust me, it's coming, will you be ready? Imagine waking up to ATMs that don't work, bank doors chained shut, and millions of people left with nothing. No cash, no access to their savings, and no way to survive. But it doesn't have to be that way for you. That's why I created Angry's Crypto Academy, to teach you everything you need to know about crypto, so you can protect yourself and your family. You'll learn how to buy, sell, and even day trade crypto for a living. Plus, we alert you to new crypto trends so you can profit before everyone else even knows what's happening. Right now, I've just published an exclusive investment guide inside the Academy, and it's linked in the description below. In it, I reveal the one coin that could make you a millionaire. A coin so revolutionary, it could change everything. If you missed out on Bitcoin and Ethereum, this is your second chance. This isn't just about financial freedom. It's about survival. When the system collapses and everyone else is selling, you'll be the one buying, prepared to weather the storm and thrive while others struggle to survive. Don't wait. This knowledge isn't optional. It's critical. The link's in the description. Go check it out now.